What if your parked car could pay your rent and then some? Today I'll be showing you how I went from $0 to 10K a month with TURO. And best believe this can be you too without owning a Lambo. Let me show you how to flip them keys into cash. So I decided to jot down a few key points on my phone and I'll be going through them step by step. Pay close attention because this will be the most raw, in-depth video that I've ever shared on the platform, showing you the personal ways that I was able to scale and develop and why I chose to continue with TURO. How to get started. A lot of people think that you need multiple vehicles and you need this luxury fleet to actually scale your business. But the real reality is you just need to start with one car. You need to start with what you have in your driveway first to see if this is something that suits you. Is this something that you can do? Is this something that you see yourself doing in the future? Because at the end of the day, just like any business, nothing is just gonna come fast. Like there's no quick get money scheme in this process. So let's go ahead and just scratch that out of today's conversation. This is not gonna be something that you're gonna be able to do just like, unless you got like a whole lot of money tucked away, you know, that's different. But these are for my real beginners. These are for people just like myself. This video is for people who started just like me with one car and little to no cash, but just passionate about taking it further and rising to the top. I didn't start with the fleet. Here's how I scaled. The best way for me to scale was to start with my one vehicle, which was a personal vehicle at the time, just to kind of test the waters or whatnot and just see, is this something I can do? Yes, if this is something I can do, then there's so many ways to scale. A lot of people think that you just gotta do it by yourself. There's no I in team. You need to be able to create a partnership as well. It doesn't hurt to get that friend of yours who you play Fortnite with, your mom, whoever it is, your sibling, your sister. You guys can all start together. Start with your one car, build up your platform, build up your R-star host, build up your reviews, build up and understand the game. You don't have to rush and go get multiple cars. And this is for people who may not have the best credit. Let me go ahead and say, as we continue this video, this is just raw and I'm just speaking straight from the dome. I know I have a list, but I'm not really gonna pay much attention to that. I'm just gonna give it to you straight from the top of my head, share my own experiences and how I feel is best for you. But back to what I was saying, I feel like a lot of people rush and feel like they need to go get multiple and do it by yourself. But for people who are like me, may not have the best credit, may not have, you know, done things so great, may not know how to take a loan, an APR, you could scale with your partners. You could build up your status and just have people under you and use other people's vehicles. Create a partnership and take your percentage and give them the rest. That's how you scale without having to have this high debt. A lot of people think that the best way to do things is to have a high debt, and we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about the right times to get a loan. But initially, it's not so encouraged to rush and get a loan. I feel like the first things first, you need to study the game, learn the tools. So when it is time to get that loan, you know how to take that loan to your, to the best advantage and fully scale because you already have knowledge on how to scale. You don't have to always start with this high debt. So now, why TURO? Why did I choose TURO? Why was TURO or the platform that I decided to rent on with? To be very honest and to be very, very straightforward with you, there's no corners here. That was just all I knew. When it came to renting out cars, it was all I felt comfortable with from the guest point of view. So I was a guest before I was a host. And as I was a guest, I just feel like, you know what? This is just something I can do. Like, to me, it's better than any other thing. Like, for somebody like me who's starting from the ground up, I'm not gonna be renting out private. From looking at it from the guest perspective, I was like, you know what? I feel like this is something I can do. I honestly didn't go out and test other platforms. I just saw that one and I kind of stuck with it. Now, why am I still with it? That's what really matters. It's because it serves me. To me, I feel like out of all the platforms right now in 2025, except for private, because nothing is necessarily gonna be private. Your rules, your game, it's fully however you wanna operate it. So nothing's ever gonna beat that. But aside from that, I felt like, okay, this for me, first and foremost, was safe to actually invest in. I felt comfortable to invest here. 2, I just felt like, you know what, I could see a profit here. And then 3, I just felt like there was no limit to what kind of vehicle that you could put on the platform. You could put whatever it is, from a beat up car to a luxury car. I also like the fact that you you were able to have a partner with it. You can have a co-host, you can have co-host. So that way, to me, it seemed like passive income. Like I didn't actually have to be there to operate. You know what I'm saying? Like I could actually hire people under me to work for me. Now, of course, after you do that, thirdly, picking the right cars. What kind of cars work best? Initially, any car is fine to get started. But then when you advance, I think it's very important to have something for everybody. So I think that especially have an economy, a luxury, and an SUV. All these three category of vehicles definitely would find each in its own customers to pertain to. Even during slow seasons, you have something for everybody. But then of course, there are, as the business progresses, then you have to actually fully cater to the demand of the population. So what's popular right now? What's trending in 2025? We got Teslas, we got Cybertrucks, we got G-Wagons, we got Nissan SUVs, we have these Lexuses, these Lexus vehicles that actually look like Mercedes, like they're so nice, they're so new. So as the business advances, I think that it's so important to cater to the demand of the public. What do people want to rent? It's not about you at this point. What is the crowd looking for? You need to be able to deliver to whatever the crowd is looking for. So meaning, you have to be constantly looking at the market, looking at the price margins of the market. There must be a certain focus level that has to come as time progresses to be able to scale. Because at the end of the day, what are you doing? Forget about you. It's not about you. It's about what the people want. A lot of times people get on the platform and they're like, oh, you know what? I got this extra cash. I'm gonna buy this car because at the end of the day, I like the car too. So I would just drive it. Well, if you're looking for a side hustle point of view and you got some money coming in from elsewhere and you're just looking for some extra bread, maybe to pay off your car note, then yes, by all means, buy whatever works for you. And then it's still gonna get rented out at the end of the day. But then if you're trying to scale to where we're trying to scale at, 10, 20, 30,000 a month, you need to get vehicles that the public wants to rent. Forget about you. It'll get to a point where you're able to buy, you're able to scale, get your own vehicle for yourself personally. And if you want to rent it out a couple days, then that's fine. But then you have this fleet that's for the masses as well. But initially, to scale, you need to be able to give the public what they want. Now, the pros and cons of this. The pros is obviously you're scaling your business and you're making profit because you're giving people what they want, of course. Now, the cons is the vehicle that the public may want may be a vehicle of high maintenance, right? Maybe a G-Wagon, maybe, I wouldn't say a Cybertruck is high maintenance, maybe, I don't know. You get where I'm coming from. But the vehicle that the public may want may be high maintenance. So even though you are making profit because you're giving people what they want, there is a certain potential of loss of earnings just because the vehicle that they might want might have high maintenance. That's why I strongly suggest right now in 2025, to me, I feel like Teslas are one of the better vehicles to have when it comes to renting on the platform. Just because right now the demand for them is high, the maintenance is low. And they keep progressing. The Model 3s to Model Ys to Cybertrucks, they keep advancing and making it better and better. They compete with the luxury, with the G-Wagons, with the Lamborghinis for a cheaper cost to purchase and for a cheaper maintenance cost. I've seen people that chose their Cybertruck as their daily ride over their Rolls Royce, even though the Rolls Royce costs 6 times more than the Cybertruck. You know why? Just because it's a feeling. It's a good car. The maintenance is low. That get up and drive, the cool features, the look, the technology. Right now, it's all about technology. We're in the AI world. You need to be able to focus on technological items. Also on the car platform. Different strokes for different folks, meaning different areas for different vehicles, different states for different fleets. Look from a guest point of view, ask around, do research, do ChatGPT. Depending on where you're at, study it. If you're in a slower state, you don't need to be, you know what I'm saying? And if you're in a fast moving state, a summer state, a spring break state, a holiday state, then you know what kind of holiday vehicles to offer. But to me, goes again, I feel like a Tesla is just for everybody, anywhere, at any time. Startup costs and financing. This right here is very important because this is the main thing. How do I get these vehicles? How do I finance? Blah, blah, blah. Now, individually, as I said, most people have that car sitting in their driveway. Go ahead and start with that. Or partner up with people, right? Now, if you still want to continue independently, then it's so important that you get the best finance rate. I think that the best thing to do is to finance the vehicle. I don't think you should be renting and buying cars outright. It makes no sense. You're gonna have to trade it in a couple years anyways, because the demand for that vehicle and popularity for that vehicle is probably crashed. Plus, you need an update. You need newer years. Prior to financing, I think that two things are very, very important. You need to make sure that you get the right finance rate, and you need to make sure that you have the better credit. Now, if you're somebody just getting started, obviously you're gonna be probably financing it in your own name. You need to make sure that you're having the best finance rate possible. You need to figure that out. Get the best APR for the better vehicle, because at the end of the day, that might be a car that you stick with. If you went and got a Nissan, right? Nissan, you got this best APR, a 2020 Nissan. You have history with that Nissan. It's gonna be so easier for 2 years later down the line to just go back to that same dealership, trade, and get a newer model of the same car. But then it's gonna be easier at that point because you have history, credit, and blah, 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 recognition with that dealer. But what if you went and signed a bad APR with that dealer or with this bank? It makes things complicated. The next time you go there, they're just sticking with that history. So that's what the history you're gonna keep using and using and using. So make sure that you sign the best APR and fix your credit. During the time where you'll be testing out waters, it's important that that timing, you're also fixing your credit and fixing the things to be able to scale. Now, as you advance and time goes on, there is no reason why these vehicles and this business should still be in your name. You need to put it into a business name. Go ahead and get your LLC. Call it whatever rentals LLC. Do everything in your business. Get yourself a business credit card and get yourself a business loan. Those go way better, way faster, and make more sense than a personal loan. Go do other things in your name. Keep the rental company in your business name. That way, when you start having employees, blah, 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 it makes more sense. And for tax purposes, it makes more sense. You know what I'm saying? When you start making a whole lot of money, now you need a tax write-off. Go get yourself another vehicle, boom, put it back on the platform. There goes another way to scale. And now when it comes to a business, there's certain vehicles with a certain weight caliber for certain kind of vehicles. You might be able to get yourself a nice G-Wagon. TURO listing optimization. Your title, your description, your photos, your pricing, all that goes into play when it comes to scale. We're not here to waste time. We're here to get straight into business. And my job is to make it easier for you guys. My job is to help you scale. If I only help one person in this whole video, that's perfectly fine, because I know that one person will do well. The thing is, a lot of people start businesses but don't actually go full throttle. You have to remember, everything's out for the taking when it comes to entrepreneurship. You're not doing something somebody else hasn't done. If you're inventing something, then this part isn't for you. Everybody is pretty much doing the same thing you're doing. If you're a bodybuilder, there's 10 other bodybuilders out there. What makes you different? What separates you from the other 10 out there, or 9 should I say? The creativity, the way you take your pictures, the way you have your angles. It could be your bicep, whatever it is, use that to your advantage. And when it comes to this, you need to make sure that you have that killer description in your bio. Ask ChatGPT, ask Snapchat AI, get some assistance. Make sure that you write it in the best way possible. Get that customer that was gonna rent from that person, bring them to you. It's all out for the taking. Screw whoever else they were thinking about. It's you. You need them to get from you. Go above and beyond, but don't say too much. Make it very precise, but make it very catchy. Pictures. You need to make sure that you have the best photos on the platform. You could have a 2010 Corolla and make it look so appealing and pleasing. There's a customer for every vehicle. There's 20 customers looking at 2010 Corollas. Make sure that that customer gets your 2010 Corolla because you provide the best photos, clean pictures, clean vehicle, emphasize on it. Take the best pictures and the best background. Make sure you can have a 2005 Corolla, but put yours on the rooftop, not in a regular parking lot or within the woods or some basic driveway like the next person did. Do yours differently, because that separates you from the masses, and that's what's gonna get yours picked over somebody else's. Under this same category is pricing strategy. Now on the platform, you have what they call smart pricing and manual pricing. Both are very, very important. Smart pricing obviously chooses the prices for you, and manual is you set it and put in the prices and setting it to your preference. But what I do is turn on your smart pricing and use your smart pricing to manually insert your pricing. Smart pricing goes with the demand and the seasons, and it's so important to pay attention to seasons. There's no scaling without seasons. No price stays the same. I want you guys after this to go check out my other videos when it comes to showing you my earnings and receipts. And you'll see that there's never a constant price on each one of these receipts. Seasons, because of timings, because weekend pricing is different from weekday pricing. Holiday pricing is different from non-holiday pricing. So smart pricing will go with the demands of that time frame. If it shows during the week in March, it's $50, but in April during the week, it's $60. That means something is happening in April. If you know you want to price over $50 in March, use that smart pricing to determine, okay, I see April is more of a busier month than March. Okay, I'm gonna do $10 extra, making $60. But when it comes to April, since I see this is obviously maybe a busier season, it's higher, then I'm gonna do 75, I'm gonna do 80. You see what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, if you're just now getting started, do you really have experience on what really goes on? Of course not. You need assistance, you need help. Now, as the years go on, you already know how April does and how June does and how July does. So you don't need smart pricing to do that. But if you're just getting started trying to go from 0 to 10, that's an important tool for you. Delivering 5-star experiences. The experience that you provide as a host to the guest is one of the most important, impactful things on your journey. The way you treat your guests, the reviews they leave for you go a long way. TURO has made it a way that you can't actually scale the business without a great host experience. The guests need to feel welcome. The guests need to feel comfortable. The guests need to appreciate your business. And one of the ways of doing that is delivering a 5-star experience. Communication is very important. Pick up and drop off instructions, making it a breeze, making it stress-free. Small touches go a long way. Water in the vehicle, charger in the vehicle, clean vehicle, great communication. All these go into play into delivering a 5-star experience. And at the end of the day, guests appreciate this a lot because there's a lot of people that actually don't do this. You'd be surprised. So when they receive an experience like this, it suits them, it makes them happy. And at the end of the day, it helps you in the long run. Next time they come back in town, guess whose vehicle they're choosing? Exactly. Mistakes I made and lessons learned. One of the things that to me personally, I wouldn't say is a mistake, but obviously a lesson learned, and why I'm delivering this video is honestly to help eliminate my mistakes and scale your business quicker than I did. I went through my phase without actually watching anybody. I wish there was somebody like myself giving the raw game, not bullshitting you, not capping and telling you how things really didn't go. I wish I had somebody giving me the raw experience, the way I'm giving you, the most authentic form, showing you receipts, showing you proof, taking you through my journey every single week. That's why, to me, it's not about the money. Forget about that. I care about impacting lives. When you impact lives, the money comes later. It just comes naturally. I want to help individuals. I want to make people feel welcome to my channel. I want to show people that you can get the raw, authentic knowledge from my channel. I want people to come to me later on and be like, you helped me scale from 0 to 100. That's my job. And like I said, if I only help one person, I'm fine with that. One of the things that I wish I knew sooner was car choice. I wish that I knew the best cars to necessarily start with instead of just testing waters. I feel like that would have took me further in the business because at the end of the day, I'll be pertaining to people's demands. Secondly, I wish that I thought more from a business perspective and less from being like money hungry. Not to say like I'm money hungry, but I was like, you know, when I started, I was emotionally attached to the vehicle. I'm not giving out my car for that price. Like, no, like my car's worth it. It's worth more than that, blah, blah, blah. And that led me to have peak seasons and very, very, very slow seasons. Whereas the most important thing is to have a steady flow. Balance is key. In entrepreneurship, in the rental game, balance is key. Yeah, you're gonna get your great days, and you're gonna get your slow days, but we want all days to be booked. You need to have a steady cash flow because not only does this help the cash you're making, but it sets you up for the future because then you boost your status, you boost reviews, you become a trusted, reliable TURO host. And what TURO likes and appreciates that, and they would rather send the guest to you. Especially when a host cancels on them, the next person that they're gonna send the guest to is a trusted and reliable host, which could be you. if you take the business serious and if you have multiple reviews. I shied away from reducing my prices. I shied away from pertaining to the customers as much as possible. And that led me to have slower days and, really only focused on the weekends and holidays. I also wish that, I had reached out to people sooner and try to, link up and partner with people. Honestly, when I started, I didn't know that people would be interested in this. I thought that people would look at me crazy. You feel comfortable enough to give others your vehicle? What about insurance? What about this? What if they steal it? What if they do? I wasn't trying to hear all that, but I was actually full of myself, because when I did start to open up, I was intrigued about how many people were curious of starting the business as well. They just didn't have the balls to do so. So I was amazed. Even when I started to share my journey on YouTube, I was amazed that people were curious. You know about it too? I was surprised, I was shocked. So if you're somebody that is like me, it doesn't hurt to speak your journey. It doesn't hurt to let people know what you're up to. And of course, watch who you tell your business to, but at the end of the day, you don't have to do it alone. Now, these are the tools and systems I use. I know initially for people getting started, it's gonna be tough for you to do a lot of these things, and I understand. I was the same way. I also have co-hosts, and to me, that just helps me, right? Because obviously, it's more than just one vehicle. You need assistance. You need to be able to provide a system to where you really don't have to be there. Now, in the beginning, this may not be comfortable for you, so don't rush to do this. But at some point, it's gonna probably call your attention. If you have two individuals who both booked these two different cars for 2 p.m. I mean, how are you gonna do it? You need assistance. Monthly expenses. So of course, everything has expenses. You literally have to spend money to make money, which include cleaning, insurance, car notes, and depreciation as well. So of course, cleaning, is a huge factor. To me, if you're getting started, you can do this yourself. Get a couple tools from Walmart. You need to keep your investment low in the beginning. But as time goes by, of course, it's gonna call for maintenance and maybe a more detailed cleaning. Of course, depreciation comes. That's why it's very important to choose the right vehicle for you. When you get to that finance office, they let you know, okay, this is the depreciation value. This is the APR. This is the value of this car in the long run. Do your research. It's very important to do your research. Final tips for anybody who would be starting is, personally, I would just say choose the right vehicle. Reduce debt as much as possible. Partnerships, you don't have to do it alone. There's no I in team. Make sure that you're focused. Follow one course until successful. That's my definition of focus. A lot of people, they study, they do it for 6 months and give up. No, you need to do it till you figure it out, or till you figure out that this isn't what's best for you. Even a failure is a success because you successfully realize this doesn't work for you. But if you're impatient to actually get to that point, then that's your loss. There's gonna be people that are gonna try you on the platform. Keep your composure, be professional. Always rent out to the right person and verify the guest license. Don't slip and slide. Do things the right way so you're able to see if this is really worth it or not. That brings me to the end of this video. I truly appreciate every single one of you watching right now. If you made it this far to the video and you enjoyed the video, make sure that you kindly hit that like button. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 100,000 subscribers, and I absolutely believe it's possible. And most importantly, I cannot do this alone. If I could hit my channel 1,000 times, of course I would. But that would suck, right? Because I wouldn't have you guys to come with me on this journey. I appreciate every single one of you. If you have any questions at all, make sure you drop them down in the comments below. If you have any video suggestions, make sure you let me know, because I will be sure to bring that video to you as much as I can. I'm out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Ski!